Hello and a very good morning to all News 9 viewers. I'm Neha Bhan. Let's take a look at some of the top national and international stories of this hour. We begin with TV9 Network's MD and CEO Barun Das in an exclusive interaction with the legendary German goalkeeper Oliver Kahn. Catch a slice of the conversation.
A lot of similarities between Barun Das and Oliver Kahn.
Champions like him are not born every day.
And I also like this format that is not only question and answer.
After 15 years, football legend Oliver Kahn returns to India. 15 years ago, he was here for his farewell match. This time, the former German goalkeeper and Bundesliga star is a guest on season 2 of the award-winning show Dialogue with Barun Das. Dialogue with Barun Das is a highly acclaimed talk show that has taken the Indian media industry by storm.
It is a platform where two thinking individuals exchange their ideas.
Hosted by Barun Das, one of India's best-known business leaders, Dialogue is a cerebral conversation with a legend or a legend in the making. And football superstar Oliver Kahn is one of the biggest legends of the sport.
If you have to define German football royalty, Oliver Kahn will be one of the top 5 names to come to my mind.
Being a goalkeeper, Oliver Kahn got that state of glamour parallel to a striker.
So in 1982, Schumacher was the German goalkeeper. After that, Schumacher, so many goalkeepers came, but Oliver Kahn was the best goalkeeper.
He can be a dormant volcano, he can be an active volcano. The fact is, his aggression defines football.
And one of the best goalkeeper ever in world football.
And the way he has shouldered the responsibilities of the German football team makes Oliver Kahn a very unique person.
In 2008, he played his last football match, and that was also against Mohun Bagan.
Probably never in his life did he witness 130,000 people watching his farewell game. It's a very, very emotional connect, not only for Oliver Kahn, but many footballers.
His confidence level, his attitude, his body language is different.
You get a standing ovation. Probably Oliver Kahn would have never got this in his life.
And this Oliver Kahn match was a historic moment in the Mumbai history.
Legends from the worlds of entertainment, sports and business converge at the show that is inspiring and thought-provoking. The USP of the show is its originality and simplicity. A power-packed season 2 is on the cards.
This is the first time I'm ever in this kind of format, having a dialogue. It's like having a dialogue about certain diverse topics, because all the interviews which I normally do are only about, very film-centric.
I enjoyed it. It was a heartfelt conversation. We discussed and touched on a lot of topics, which got me a lot of good memories back, and also some memories which are very emotional for me. But I wish Barun Das all the best and keep up the good work.
A lot of similarities between Barun Das and Oliver Kahn, that there are a lot of similarities between sport and business. And I also like this format this format that is not only question and answer. So we had a really relaxing conversation, and I felt very comfortable, and yes, hopefully we can repeat it again in the near future.
Season 2, I think, would build on Season 1. The list of guests or the profiles of the guests possibly would be even a few notches higher. So getting to speak to them, getting to bounce off my ideas with them, and picking their mind, it's a great experience for me.
Switching our focus now, Delhi air quality continues to remain in the severe category as per the Central Pollution Control Board. The city's overall air quality index was recorded at 418 at 6 a.m. today, according to data from the Central Pollution Control Board. Now, several air monitoring stations, including Anand Vihar, Dwarka, Shadipur, Mandir Marg, ITO, RK Puram, Punjabi Bagh, North Campus, Mathura Road, Rohini, Patparganj, Okhla, India Gate, Mundka recorded an AQI above 400. Meanwhile, in the National Capital Region, Greater Noida was the most polluted with an AQI of 474. Physical classes up to class 9 will remain suspended in Noida till the 10th of November on account of the poor air quality in the National Capital Region. The Graded Response Action Plan Stage 4 has already been implemented in Delhi NCR, with the air quality index recorded at 394 on Tuesday morning, remaining in the very poor category. Meanwhile, the Delhi government will consider the Supreme Court's directives while making a decision on the odd-even car rationing scheme. Delhi air quality continues to remain in the severe category. Year after year, we keep on seeing the same trend. And despite, in fact, being requested several times to control this menace that leaves Delhiites choking, there has been nothing, next to nothing, that has been done to control the deteriorating air quality that the people who are living in the Delhi NCR region have to breathe. Now there, the Supreme Court has directed the Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Delhi governments to stop crop burning forthwith. It made the local SHO responsible for implementing the direction under the supervision of DGP and the Chief Secretary. The court ordered for holding of a meeting of all stakeholders on Wednesday, as it fixed considering taking up the matter on Friday. Now let's tell you some of the measures, 10 measures which could help improve Delhi's air quality. Now there are approximately 9,000 hotels and restaurants in Delhi use coal, mostly in tandoors. They are a major source of particulate matter emission. Now use of LPG, avoid polluting fuels, avoid using wood crop residue, cow dung and coal for cooking. Instead, everyone should get access to LPG. Stop municipal solid waste burning. Now burning of everyday items we use and throw like bottles, newspapers and food scraps severely pollutes the air. Construction materials be covered. Cover construction area and raw materials. Use water spray and windbreaker. Store waste inside premises and cover construction materials during on-road movement. Now, preventive steps during concrete batching. Use water spray, windbreaker and telescopic shoot-in spots where concrete batching is done. Use electric BS6 vehicles. Use of more electric, hybrid and BS6 vehicles. Improvement of public transport. Now, desoxing and denoxing systems at power plants. Install desoxing and denoxing systems in large power plants and refineries in Delhi which emit pollutants like SO2 and NOx. Now, install vapor recovery system at petrol pumps. Petrol vapors contribute to the formation of smog. Vapor recovery systems help to collect, in fact, volatile organic compounds. Stop biomass burning of crops. Now, burning of crop residue needs to stop. Used for energy production, biogas generation and feeding cattle. Tackle fly ash. Now, to deal with the pollutants, use water spraying, installation of windbreakers and plantations. These are 10 measures that could help improve Delhi's air quality. Meanwhile, for all of those who have just joined us, Delhi's air quality continues to remain in the severe category. The city's overall air quality index was recorded at 418 at 6 a.m. today. The Supreme Court has also directed the Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Delhi governments to stop crop burning forthwith, and it also made the local SHO responsible for implementing the direction under the supervision of DGP and the Chief Secretary. Do remember that it was just yesterday the Supreme Court stated that the Supreme Court banned firecrackers in the entire country. Just ahead of Diwali, it clarified that its order banning the use of barium and banned chemicals in firecrackers are applicable not just in the National Capital Region but to the entire country. I'm going to read out what the bench said, quote unquote, at this juncture no specific order will be necessary in as much as this court in the course of hearing the petitions has passed several orders where steps have been indicated to minimize and avoid air as well as noise pollution. Hence, the said orders will bind every state in the country, including the state of Rajasthan. Therefore, we make it clear that the state of Rajasthan would also take note of this and take all steps to minimize air and noise pollution, not only during the festival season but even thereafter. Now, this was after, in fact, the bench comprising Justices A.S. Bopanna and M.M. Sundaresh heard an application that sought directions to the Rajasthan government to comply with the top court's order banning the use of Bannic Hemixa and regulating noise levels. Now, the Allahabad High Court has scheduled a hearing for November 8th to address a group of petitions filed by Anjuman Intizamiya and others. Now, these petitions challenge the validity of a lawsuit that seeks to restore a temple at the location where the Gyanvapi Mosque currently stands. In these petitions, the individuals filing them are also questioning a directive from a Varanasi court. This directive ordered the Archaeological Survey of India to conduct a thorough survey of the mosque grounds situated adjacent to the Kashi Vishwanath temple. The Allahabad High Court will hear In fact, the Allahabad High Court has scheduled a hearing for today to address a group of petitions filed by Anjuman Intizamiya, among others, challenging the validity of a lawsuit that seeks to restore a temple at the location where the Gyanvapi Mosque currently stands. A very important hearing to look forward to. And in fact, these petitions challenge the validity of a lawsuit that seeks to restore a temple instead where the Gyanvapi Mosque currently stands. Now, in these petitions also, the individuals filing them are questioning a directive from a Varanasi court. The Varanasi court had given a directive ordering the Archaeological Survey of India to conduct a thorough survey of the mosque grounds situated adjacent to the Kashi Vishwanath temple. The controversy has been going on for close to 2 years now, and in the latest, Anjuman Intizamiya has challenged this particular Gyanvapi lawsuit. Allahabad High Court is all set to hear the Gyanvapi case today. At least 9 persons, including 2 Manipur police personnel and a woman, sustained bullet injuries after unidentified men fired on them at Kangchup foothills in Kangpokpi district adjoining Imphal West district. Alarmed over the presence of 5 unknown persons from a different community who had strayed into the Methi area, a large group of people, including women from Phaing, went to Kangchup hillside to find out about them. However, as soon as they reached, suspected militants from the hills started firing at them. Later, village volunteers and security forces rushed to the spot, leading to heavy exchange of fire. So far, 7 persons have been admitted to RIMS, while 2 have been admitted to Raj Medicity in Imphal. Meanwhile, 4 persons who had strayed into the Methi area are missing, while 1 has been found by security forces in a critically injured condition. Security personnel are conducting operations to trace the 4 missing persons. In another firing incident, armed men attacked Kotruk in Imphal West district. Meanwhile, tensions continue to grip Imphal Valley after 2 teenagers went missing on Sunday afternoon from Sikmai area near Kangpokpi district. Police have recovered the phones of the missing teens wrapped in a black polythene packet from an oil pump in Senapati district. Manipur continues to remain on the edge. It was on the 3rd of May when an ethnic conflict broke out between the Kuki and the Methi communities, and since then, this tiny northeastern state in India has seen widespread unrest. Over 100 people have lost their lives, dozens have been left injured. The situation continues to remain volatile. In the latest, at least 9 people, including 2 Manipur police personnel and a woman, sustained bullet injuries after unidentified men fired on them at Kangchup foothills in Kangpokpi district adjoining Imphal West district. Switching our focus to the Israel-Hamas war now, it has been over a month since Hamas initiated a deadly war against southern Israel, resulting in the deaths of about 1,400 people and the abduction of over 200 Israeli individuals as hostages. Since then, Israel has been conducting airstrikes and ground operations in Gaza. Let's take you through the latest updates on day 33. Israel strikes Hamas tunnels. Neither Hamas nor Israel would control Gaza. That is what the Israeli defense minister has stated. Netanyahu stays firm on hostage release for ceasefire. At least 10,328 Palestinians in Gaza have been killed. Around 70% of Gazans of the 2.3 million population have fled their homes. Now, flares lit up Gaza's night sky on the 7th of November as Israel launched a major operation in Gaza City targeting Hamas. The conflict began when Hamas fighters breached Gaza's fence, resulting in casualties and abductions. Israel has since relentlessly bombarded the area, leading to a significant loss of life, including many civilians and children. The situation remains tense in the region. It was on the 7th of October when Hamas carried out a deadly attack against southern Israel, and Israel in retaliation has been bombarding Gaza and has been carrying out ground operations. Israeli ground forces in the Gaza Strip have also launched an operation with the objective of deactivating the extensive tunnel network used by Hamas terrorists beneath the enclave. Right on your screens, visuals coming in from Gaza, where Israel launched a major operation in the Strip targeting Hamas. The conflict began when Hamas fighters breached Gaza's fence, resulting in casualties and abductions. About 10,328 Palestinians in Gaza have lost their lives in the Israeli attacks since the 7th of October. In Israel, the death toll stands at over 1,400, while close to 224 people have been taken as hostages by the Hamas terrorists. Amid the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas, one name that has drawn everyone's attention is the Al-Shifa hospital situated in Gaza. For the people in Gaza, Al-Shifa is the biggest and most advanced hospital, a lifeline for them, and now it is also being used as a place of refuge from relentless Israeli airstrikes. Reports suggest more than 60,000 people of the war-torn zone have taken shelter there as a desperate measure. Al-Shifa's capacity is 700 beds. Now it is housing more than 60,000 people. This includes the wounded, the caretakers, and several others who have taken refuge there. A New York Times report has quoted doctors at Al-Shifa as saying that there are about 130 newborns who were orphaned as soon as they were born. Israel, however, maintains that Al-Shifa is used as a Hamas war room and that its leaders hide under the hospital. Al-Shifa, a hospital, now has become a place of refuge with a capacity of only 700 beds. Now 60,000 people have been taking shelter in this hospital, hoping that they can save themselves from the continuous bombardment from the Israeli side. Even as violence continues in the Gazan enclave with over 10,000 Palestinians being killed till now, the West Bank is also witnessing a similar situation. Incidents of violence are on the rise and at least 155 Palestinians have been killed in West Bank ever since Hamas attacked Israel on the 7th of October. Even though the death toll in West Bank is just a fraction of the number of deaths in Gaza, the territory is getting closer to the tipping point with every passing minute. These incidents of violence are being blamed upon the Jewish settlers who are living in the West Bank and is being seen as a direct reaction to the atrocities committed by Hamas terrorists on Israelis. Settler groups have become bolder even as the Israeli army has intensified its raids on Palestinian towns and cities. The war in Gaza seems to have aroused some of the more violent groups of settlers in the West Bank. While some are out taking revenge for Hamas atrocities, others seem to be simply taking advantage of the situation to lash out at the Palestinian settlers. United States President Joe Biden has repeatedly urged Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to rein in the settlers, but all the appeals seem to be in vain till now. Itamar Ben-Gvir, the National Security Minister in Netanyahu's cabinet, has already said that he handed out rifles to Israelis to protect settlements and the cities. Now, what's more is that while these violent settlers were once labeled as rogue operators, they've now gotten representation in Israel's coalition government. Palestinian officials have expressed concern at the situation and even said that a third intifada is likely to break out soon. The Palestinian Authority officials, however, are strongly against the prospect of the same. They fear that it would give Hamas an opportunity to become the dominant Palestinian force in West Bank. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday seemed willing to consider pauses in fighting in the Gaza Strip, either for aid or the exit of hostages, but again ruled out a ceasefire for now despite international pressure. Take a look at this report.
Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday seemed willing to consider pauses in fighting in the Gaza Strip, either for aid or the exit of hostages, but again ruled out a ceasefire for now, despite international pressure. Netanyahu was speaking with ABC News.
I know the Biden administration has also said now is not the time for a ceasefire. What they're proposing is a humanitarian pause. There will be no pause?
Well, there will be no ceasefire, general ceasefire in Gaza without the release of our hostages. As far as tactical little pauses, an hour here, an hour there, we've had them before. I suppose we'll check the circumstances in order to enable goods, humanitarian goods to come in, or our hostages, individual hostages to leave. But I don't think there's going to be a general ceasefire. It's not that I don't think. I think it will hamper the war effort. It'll hamper our effort to get our hostages out, because the only thing that works on these criminals in Hamas is the military pressure that we're exerting.
Blasts and flares lit up the sky over Gaza early Tuesday morning. It's now been more than 1 month since the Hamas raid on southern Israel, when militants killed 1,400 people and seized 240 hostages. Israel has bombarded the area since then. Gaza health officials say it has killed more than 10,000 Palestinians, including some 4,100 children. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned on Monday that Gaza is becoming a, quote, graveyard for children, calling for an urgent ceasefire. However, both sides have resisted international pressure to do so. Israel says hostages should be released first, while Hamas says it will not free them or stop fighting while Gaza is under assault. On Monday, the White House said U.S. President Joe Biden had discussed, quote, pauses and possible hostage releases in a phone call with Netanyahu, reiterating his support for Israel while emphasizing that it must protect civilians. Like Israel, the U.S. fears Hamas would take advantage of a full ceasefire to regroup. On Monday, Netanyahu was also asked about what happens when the conflict is over.
President Biden has said that it would be a mistake for Israel to occupy Gaza. Who should govern Gaza when this is over?
Those who don't want to continue the way of Hamas. It certainly is not. I think Israel will, for an indefinite period, will have the overall security responsibility, because we've seen what happens when we don't have it. When we don't have that security responsibility, what we have is the eruption of Hamas terror on a scale that we couldn't imagine.
International organizations have said hospitals like this one in Gaza City cannot cope with the wounded, and that food and clean water are running out, with aid deliveries nowhere near enough.
It's been 33 days of a walking nightmare since an Israeli man saw his wife and young children who were taken hostage by Hamas during the October 7 attacks. Joined by the family dog, he launched a one-man vigil that soon became a daily ritual for Israelis, calling on leaders for the hostages' release. Take a look.
It's been over 31 days of waking nightmare for Avihai Brodich. 31 days since he last spoke to his wife or saw his 3 young children, aged 10, 8, and 4 years old. 31 days since the October 7th attacks by Hamas on Israel, which kidnapped and took his family hostage.
It's been so long, I'm starting to lose it. I don't know in what situation they are in, health-wise, or if they're being fed, taken care of. So I can only hope that everything's all right.
Brodich's family was taken from one of the hardest hit communities, Kfar Aza. They were hiding in a safe room with their neighbor's daughter, whose parents were killed. He had gone outside to see if he could help stop the gunmen, but they got separated. At first, he thought everyone but his dog was killed before he received confirmation they were taken. He started camping with his dog outside the Israeli Defense Ministry with a sign to remind the military, "My family is in Gaza." Others have joined him in what's become a daily occurrence.
All day, this is what I'm doing. I talk to people and I tell them my story and my beliefs, and I just keep on going, you know, and nighttime comes and I just fall asleep, you know. Maybe I don't fall apart, but I just fall asleep, you know, from all this. I get so tired. So I just wanted them to see, you know, the decision makers, to know that I'm there and my family is held hostage. So whenever they make their big decisions, they think about me, and I think they are thinking about me right now. They can't ignore me.
After a month, Brodich is tired of protesting, but he says views of the war are changing.
I think it has changed a lot. You know, people did change their views on this conflict. Everybody just wanted vengeance at first. I don't think, they wanted retaliation, which is human, I guess, but I hope it ends, you know. It's just a cycle that keeps going on and on. And now I'm a part of it, and my kids and wife are a part of it. And they shouldn't be.
The IDF released some of the weapons found on Hamas's terrorists on the 7th of October. 1,493 hand grenades and explosives, 760 RPGs, 427 explosive belts, 375 firearms, 106 rockets and missiles. Now, these are just a few of the weapons used to massacre over 1,400 Israeli civilians, and this is what prompted the Israeli side to launch a deadly attack on the Gaza enclave. Israel has been continuing with its bombardment on the Gaza Strip and with its ground operations as well. Right on your screens, these are some of the weapons that were found on Hamas terrorists on the 7th of October. The IDF paratrooper brigade operating in northern Gaza has uncovered an underground terror tunnel near the amusement park and another one near a university. Additionally, a weapon warehouse was discovered near the university. This warehouse contained chemical materials, RPGs, claymore, mines and more. Switching our focus from Israel now, the Hollywood Actors Union, SAG-AFTRA and major studios are still negotiating after 4 months of strike. The union demands fair compensation in the streaming era and protections on AI use. Talks continue to resolve the issue, including concerns about actors' digital likeness without permission. Have a look at this report.
Netflix on Monday told Reuters talks with striking Hollywood actors were ongoing after their union rejected the latest offering from the major studios. Netflix's co-chief executive, Ted Sarandos.
They're ongoing. We're at the table all day, every day, and we are trying to get this strike resolved and get the town back to work.
The Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, which represents Netflix, Walt Disney and other companies, presented what the studios called their last, best and final offer on Saturday. The SAG-AFTRA union on Monday said in a statement the two sides had yet to reach an agreement on several items, including the use of artificial intelligence. It added that it was determined to secure the right deal and bring a responsible end to a strike that has gone on for 4 months now. Hollywood actors walked off the job in July to demand higher compensation in the streaming TV era, as well as protections around the use of AI and other gains. Actors are seeking assurances that their digital likenesses will not be used without their permission.
In London's Cotswold Gallery, visitors wear special headsets to see how art affects their brains. The project by Art Fund shows that looking at beautiful or intriguing art makes people feel happy.
So walking around, I've just been taking it in just like normal, and then seeing what it actually looks like on the screen is amazing, really, really, really good.
I think we all know that there's something that happens when we look at something that is beautiful or something that's intriguing, but what this is showing is the pattern of your brain waves when you see something that intrigues or inspires or creates an emotion.
Now, Nintendo on Tuesday raised its operating profit forecast for the financial year ending March by 11% to 500 billion yen as heavy-hitting franchises continue to attract gamers to its aging Switch console. Take a look.
Nintendo had good news for investors on Tuesday. The Japanese gaming giant raised its operating profit forecast for the financial year to March by 11%. Big-name games have proven so popular that Nintendo now projects it will make $3.32 billion in profit. Gamers have flocked to the aging Switch console this year. Nintendo sold 6.84 million units in the first half of the financial year, slightly up from last year. It's largely thanks to critically acclaimed games like The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. That heroic tale of Princess Zelda and the swordsman Link went on sale in May. Nintendo said it had sold 19.5 million copies as of the end of September, while another major title, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, launched last month. Nintendo's broad pop culture appeal was also helped by the success of a Super Mario movie. The game maker kept its full-year forecast for the Switch of 15 million units, though that would be a 16.5% decline on a year earlier.
Now, TV9 Network's MD and CEO Barun Das, in an exclusive interaction with the legendary German goalkeeper Oliver Kahn, catch a slice of this conversation.
A lot of similarities between Barun Das and Oliver Kahn.
Champions like him are not born every day.
And I also like this format that is not only question and answer.
After 15 years, football legend Oliver Kahn returns to India. 15 years ago, he was here for his farewell match. This time, the former German goalkeeper and Bundesliga star is a guest on season 2 of the award-winning show Dialogue with Barun Das. Dialogue with Barun Das is a highly acclaimed talk show that has taken the Indian media industry by storm.
It is a platform where two thinking individuals, exchange their ideas.
Hosted by Barun Das, one of India's best-known business leaders, Dialogue is a cerebral conversation with a legend or a legend in the making. And football superstar Oliver Kahn is one of the biggest legends of the sport.
If you have to define German football royalty, Oliver Kahn will be one of the top 5 names to come to my mind.
Being a goalkeeper, Oliver Kahn got that state of glamour parallel to a striker.
So in 1982, Schumacher was the German goalkeeper. After that, Schumacher, next so many goalkeepers came, but Oliver Kahn was the best goalkeeper.
He can be a dormant volcano, he can be an active volcano. The fact is, his aggression defines football.
And one of the best goalkeepers ever in world football.
And the way he has shouldered the responsibilities of the German football team makes Oliver Kahn a very unique person.